from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. It's championship night and Monday Night Madness, brought to you by the Osh Weekend Speedway. Round number 11, the final sprint car race of 2023 on a Monday night. We've got a bunch of title actions up for grabs here, and we begin it all with the Rebels, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Well, we're excited for this one. We're so glad here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you, joined alongside Zach Chapman as well as Brian Dittmer. We're getting set for this one, boys. Let's begin with the Rebels title clash. As we look at things without the drops coming on in, it is Kurt Schatzer with the advantage by 25 points on Brandon Templeton. It's simply put here for Superman, Brandon. If Schatzer can finish 12th or better, he wins the title no matter what.
Yeah, Schatzer has been on it all season long, and he has been smooth and fast, and .037 incident rating. That is incredible to say the least, especially through a whole season with this. And that's the whole reason why he's up there. No incidents means you get more points.
Without question, for sure. And then, Zach, we go to the other title battle. We look at the Renegades. It's round 2 between Patrick Spangler and Blake Chapman. But the driver 39 has the advantage without the drops coming in. 27 points, simply put, for him. 13th or better for Spangler, as long as he is at least 7th to get rid of one of his drops. He will be the champ tonight.
Yeah, Brandon and I were actually talking about that a little bit ago. We were looking at some of the drop weeks, and Blake and Patrick, they happen to have the same drop week number. It's 58 points. So, barring something real unlucky for Patrick, looks like he might be bringing home another Renegades title this evening.
Well, we're going to see what happens. Of course, we are putting our focus right now over to Renegades competition. Ready to go for Heat 1, and Heat number 1 is brought to you by Flatline Bodies. Flatline Racing Bodies, quality racing designs, produced by Tim Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's a look at your starting lineup for Heat race number 1. On the pole position, and I believe we're having some technical difficulties with our... Nope, everything's all set. We are good. Gentleman Jack Hitt is on the pole position. Next to him, it's the number 72 of Shaggy, Zach Chapman. Row number 2, it's the 75 of the Mayor, Steve Bixler. And next to him, it's the 35 of Daddy's Money, Connor Ross. Row number 3, the 814, that is Brad Waite. Next to him, it's the 02 of Devo, Donovan Ross. Rounding out the field in car number 70, welcoming back, it's Mike Cranmer. Brandon, definitely a lot of drivers here showing up for this one, with it being the final race of the season, and also because it's Knoxville.
Yeah, who doesn't love coming to Knoxville? It's a great track, and I mean, personally, I still feel like it should be Volusia as finisher, but this is also a great finisher as well.
Absolutely is. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is on pit road, ready to go racing here at Knoxville Raceway. Winner starts on pole. We're green. Bixler comes out with the good jump. Remember, top 4 drivers transfer on to tonight's running. 3 wide for third off at turn number 4. Connor Ross on the high side. Lap 1 of the books, though, led by Steve Bixler. Here comes Chapman, though, for the top spot here, Brandon.
Yeah, and as this track you can see has really gone away, this bottom is going to be very key here as we go along here. If you can keep the bottom, you can you'll be able to run away with this. That top is going to be very treacherous very early, and it's going to continue to be more treacherous as they build it up.
17.5 last lap for Zach Chapman. Quickest lap. Brad Waite in third. He's up 2 spots, and now tries to chase down the driver of the 75 as Devo throws a slider. A Ross slider on another Ross. Fun race for third, breaking out here as he right on board with Devo. See different lines there as Connor throws the slide job. He's able to hang on still for right now. Let's go to the race for the second position. Steve Bixler with Brad Waite behind him. Connor is making both of them work for here for second spot at the moment here, Brandon.
Yeah, Bixler is really taking away Brad Wade's kind of entry line into the corners, taking the bottom, so it's forcing Brad to kind of move up the track, kind of find something else, and it's really hurting him right now. As you can see, Connor Ross goes right underneath him without any problem, and here comes Connor for second place.
Bixler, though, edges out Ross at the line for P2. 2 laps to go. Still Zach Chapman out in front, looking to start on pole position here. I think Zach's already getting set up for next year in Knoxville when we go.
Zach better come out to Knoxville when we hang out again, but he's looking really good right here, right now. And here comes Connor Ross for Bixler. A little bit of contact, maybe?
Looking for a second. We got one up on the wall pretty good. Not sure who it was. Believe it was Ross as Chapman wins. Second at the line goes to Bixler by 700ths on Connor Ross. A good start to this one in Knoxville, Brandon.
Absolutely, love to see good hard racing throughout the pack. Zach got kind of a runaway with that one. Lucky for him. Otherwise, we had some great racing behind him.
Ready to move on to heat race number 2. Heat 2 is brought to you by our friends at RSN Trackside. Trackside's in its off season, but if you want to support RSN Trackside, make sure you reach out to them on Facebook at RSN Trackside. Trackside premieres once again for season number 5 this February on Rock Sports Network. Here's how they line up for heat race number 2. Joe Backus on pole position. Next to him, it's Chad Griggs. Welcome him back. He's driving the number 227. Jeff Flarrell in the 200 next to Jack Clevenger in the number 78. That is row number 2. Row number 3, Gary Offut and Brian Dickens. And rounding out the field, Brennan Lacey in car number 14. Let's get Zach back on here. Zach, nice heat win, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Never wanted to complain about starting on the pole, but kind of feel like I'm in no man's land here because I think that top's going to come back in, and hopefully I find it right as they do.
Winner to start on the outside of the front row. Here we go. Heat 2 is underway. And nearly 3 wide going for the race lead early. Griggs and Backus still side by side as the field makes their way into turn number 3. And some near contact breaking out as lap number 1 is led by Backus. Here comes Flarrell for second. Zach, this is a guy that loves the fast and long tracks.
Yeah, I look at Flarrell here, you know, to maybe make do of him as he goes by. He's just doing such a good job of, not to pat myself on the back there, but he's really running the bottom like I did in that first heat, and you don't want to get stuck in the middle right now.
Yeah, especially if you're back, as he nearly squeezed Clevenger up on the wall as Clevenger rips the cushion to go 2 for 1 up to second, and he challenges Flarrell for the lead here, Brandon, and the 200 actually caught the berm in turn 3.
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to run the top there. If you can catch it just right, it's going to help you out a lot. But one small slip up, and you're going to go head to the wall and probably heading over to either Dingus or Rib Shack.
Clevenger still ripping it on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies, but Flarrell has him cleared. Briggs edges out Clevenger for second at the line. Now, what did Flarrell do differently there, Zach? Quickest lap of the race, 17:23.
It just looks like Griggs behind him. He's catching him on entry, but Flarrell's getting a great exit. He's backing those. As soon as I say that, Griggs really caught him there. He hit the berm, but Flarrell's just doing a good job of backing the corner up and really getting back to the throttle quick on the bottom, and it's shortest way around the track. So if you can get back to the throttle just as quick as the guy up top, shorter distance, it's going to work out for you.
That was a big move by Griggs, cutting off the momentum of the 78, and he maybe focused on behind him because he actually caught the wall. As we've got 2 to go, but Griggs pulls up to the right rear sneaker for the lead, Brandon.
And he's going to be forcing that issue right there. Flarrell has not been getting on the tacky stuff coming out of the corner, so he is not as fast coming out. There he does a little bit of a better job, but Griggs is right there.
Final lap underway. Winner starts the outside of the front row next to Shaggy. What happens off of turn number 2? Griggs clears Flarrell, or does he? Off of turn number 4, Griggs sends it in deep off the corner. Side by side, it's Griggs that takes the win in Heat 2. Flairel second, Clevenger third,
Contact
Lacey fourth, Dickens fifth, Beck is sixth, and off at 7th. That was a fun heat race, boys.
Good, hard, clean racing. I mean, no contact, that stuff after the flag there. That definitely wasn't intentional. Just somebody lifting a little too early, but that was very exciting, boys.
Now we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Top Notch Trucking, the official logistics provider of the Coast to Coast Racing League, and as always, their service is top notch. The Moose, Jake Musso on pole position. Next to him, it's the number 747 of the Bassman in Roger Craig. Row number 2, the Laker, John Krupa in the 5, next to the 888 of Steve Maurer. Row number 3, we are watching the inside of row 3 and 4 closely. Superman Kurt Schatzer next to the 4 of Greg Palmer Lee. And then it's the 31 of Brandon Templeton, who rounds out the field.
Anxious to see what Roger does here. You know, he's been having great runs these past couple of weeks. I look for him to compete here for this win.
Let's see what happens as the winner starts inside of row number 2. We're underway for heat race number 3. Oh, Schatzer touches, and around goes the 218. He's able to keep it straight, but lost a lot of time there to the 31 of Templeton. Field makes their way off of turn number 4, lap 1 up on the board. It's led by the 61 of the Moose, Brandon.
Yeah, Jacob is really sticking it down on that bottom really nicely. Roger's kind of taking that middle approach. I think we kind of determined that's not really the game plan here, but maybe he knows something we don't.
Correct.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there, Brandon. I mean, the middle, you can get lost there. You either need to be way up top, like Griggs and them were running last race, or you need to be on the bottom.
Jake Musso, though, quickest driver on the track at a 17:37. Field makes their way off at turn number 4. Musso still hanging on, but a good race for third, breaking out. Templeton underneath on Krupa. That could be huge towards the championship as Templeton takes the 3rd spot. Reason why I say that could be huge is because as we're calculating things right now, if you're up a spot here, Brandon, or excuse me, Zach, that's 3 positions you gain towards the feature. And Schatzer would currently be back in 9 spots behind Templeton.
Yeah, and, you know, like I say, not to wish either bad luck on any of them, but I'm kind of sitting there in 3rd place, so I wouldn't mind seeing both of them have to fight their way through the feature here.
That is true. You're a little bit farther behind, though, so you're hoping for both of them to crash out.
A miracle, Marty.
Krupa all over B-Temp for position number 3. Still the Moose here, Brandon, out in front, 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, and he's really showing us where we need to be running here in the, at the start of the feature. If everybody starts running down there, we'll quickly see that go away. Maybe the top side coming in, maybe even the slider line being a valuable option.
Just ran the quickest lap of the race last time by at a 17:16. Won his first Renegades feature 2 weeks ago at Kern County, and he starts from 3rd tonight in the feature in the Rebels in Knoxville. Greg 2nd, Templeton 3rd, Krupa 4th, Parmalee 5th, Schatzer 6th, and Maurer 7th. Alrighty, warm-up time for the drivers. We're going to step aside and go to break. When we come back, it's feature time here at the Knoxville Raceway. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olson? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Warm-ups are just about wrapped up here in the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and it's Brennan Lacey. That is the quickest as we get set to go racing for our 30-lap feature at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's meet the field. Here's your catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole, it's Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. Next to him, it's the 27 of Chad Griggs. Row 2, the Moose, Jake Musto in the 61. Next to the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Row number 3, it's the 200 of Jeff Flero. Next to him, it's the 747 of the Bassman, Roger Craig. Row 4, Daddy's Money, Connor Ross. He's in the number 35. And the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Rounding out the top 10, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. And the 814 of Brad Waite. Row number 6, Brennan Lacey, the lowline master, in the 114. And the Laker, John Krupa, in car number 5. Row 7, Devo, Donovan Ross in the 02. And Brian Dickens in the 122. Row number 8, it's Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Next to him, Gentleman Jack Hitt. He's in the number 217. Rounding out the field, you've got on row 9, Joe Backus and Greg Parley. Row number 10, Mike Cranmer, Gary Offut. Rounding out the field this evening, Steve Maurer in the 888. All right, folks, we get set to go racing. Before we go green, let's remind you of the point standings. Coming on in with the drops, a 25-point advantage for Schatzer on Templeton. 12th place finish or better, and Schatzer is the champion regardless. Zach, wishing you the best of luck, man, all right?
Yep, appreciate it, guys. Hopefully we put on a show for you.
Real quick, who's your pick to win?
Where's Brennan Lacey starting?
Lacey is starting in the back.
11th?
Yeah, 11th.
Yeah, I'm calling it. He's coming to the front.
Sounds good. All right, man, best of luck.
Thanks.
Dittmer, who you picking?
You know, since Zach so rudely took my pick, out of spite, I'm going to pick him.
There you go, Zach. All right. I'm going to go with the Moose. Jake Musso has looked pretty stout in this heat. Was probably the dominant of all drivers in heat races. Just my opinion. So, but we're ready to go racing, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Knoxville Raceway. It's the Lucy Olson start. Our first feature of the night. And it's championship night here at the sprint car capital of the world. Chapman and Griggs bring us to green, underway at Knoxville. Musso underneath on Griggs for the second position as the field makes their way off at turn number 4. Griggs up on the high side. Lap number 1 is led by Shaggy and Zach Chapman. Musso takes away the second position as Jeff Flair, O'Connor Ross race for 4th. 3 wide briefly with a Mayor in the middle, Brandon.
Yeah, that's getting good racing back here with some 3 wide, even occasionally a little bit of 4 wide. Woohoo!
I think Roger at one point used the bumper on his Salty Dog teammate at Steve Bixler. But it looked like it. I don't know. Here comes Lacey underneath with look-alike race cars.
Almost a little bit of contact between the two.
That's the race for 7th. We look up front. Musso all over Zach Chapman for the top spot. Quickest car was Musso last time by, and a 17.63s are on board with them. Top speed drivers are running about 125 miles an hour as we have trouble. John Krupa has spun off turn 2. A lot like how the Lakers performed in hockey in the past couple of days. Caution now waves. Gary Offut and Brad Waite are around. That is in turn number 2. So we have our first Salty Dog yellow of the race.
With a little bit of hope from Jack Hitt.
Take a look at that help in just a moment. Let's go to John Krupa, see what happened to him. I say that just for fun. Talking some hockey. Let's see here. Got turned off at Joe Backus. That is how he went around. We go to Gary Offit and Brad Waite. Yep, the gentleman was not so gentleman-y. See Brad Waite there would know where to go. Have an onboard as well with Waite. Let's give it to you. That's right. I believe Steve Maurer also catch a piece of that one too. So field getting set back to go racing. Should go 1 to green this time by. And so we saw Chapman out there up in front of the field. Brandon, what does he do now trying to hold off Jake Musso, excuse me. Luckily, he'll have lane choice for the restart. He'll try and catch Musso sleeping.
Yeah, he will have lane choice, which is going to be huge. Really, he just needs to make sure he's staying calm, feathering the gas, make sure he doesn't lead foot it like I would do, but just making sure he keeps his car underneath him is really all he's going to have to do here, and he should have a nice, easy ride for a while.
So coming back to the green flag, Zach Chapman next to Jake Musso. That is row number 1. And then you go to row number 2. You find Chad Griggs and Connor Ross as we get set to go for our Mission 22 restart. Green lights back on here at Knoxville. Chapman able to hold serve, but look at the run for Griggs. Using advantage of taking a different lane compared to Musso, and Griggs moves up to second. Musso shuts the door on Connor Ross to hang on to third. Meanwhile, further back, Brennan Lacey in the 5th position. We look at your championship update. Brandon Templeton racing Kurt Schatzer for 11th. Keep in mind for Schatzer, 12th or better is all he needs to become a 2-time champion in the Rebels here, Brandon.
Yeah, and Schatzer's going to play this nice and smart. He's going to make sure he does not get any X's. He is going to, if he has to, he will finish exactly 12th just to make sure he does not take any X's. He is a very smart racer, very patient racer. He will do what he has to do.
Clevenger now up on that top side, racing Lacey for the 5th position. Could even get 4th position out of this as he sends it the extreme high side. Gets 5th at the line over Lacey there. Let's see what happens in the 1 and 2. That's a good race, though. Quickest car on the track, though, at the moment, Brandon, is Chad Griggs. Last time by 17:57.
Yeah, Chad, he is running that bottom really tightly, making sure he's taking that left rear on that tacky, which is really helping him all the way through the corner and a drive off. And Zach is just a little bit high through the corner. Maybe helping Griggs take down that gap just a little bit, but otherwise Zach is doing a great job out there.
Connor Ross, Jack Clevenger still racing for 4th with Brennan Lacey both on their tail. That's right on board here with Lowline Lacey. 120 miles an hour, the top speed entering turn number 1. He had to let off just a little bit because he didn't want to hit the back of Connor Ross. Let's go back to the championship update. Templeton is 8th, Schatzer in 10th. So B-Temp closing the gap just a little bit, but not too much, and Schatzer gets in the back of Devo. Now that could be critical because if iRacing says that's 2X, that's a big loss of points there for Kurt Schatzer.
That is a massive loss of points for Schatzer. If Templeton gets 0X, that's a 7-point swing there, then and there, so that's massive.
We'll keep an eye on that. It's a 1-second advantage, though, for Zach Chapman on Chad Griggs. The last time by, quickest lap of the race, 17:56. As we are next time by, halfway home, 15 up and 15 down. Back to Brennan Lacey and Connor Ross. We've been watching that race very closely for the 6th spot.
Lacey on the cushion. I feel like I need to take a picture of this. This might never happen. Might not ever happen again.
Well, here's the thing. Brennan Lacey, before we went on the new dirt build, he hated this track because of the motocross bumps it had. We get those bumps all the time, would take himself out. Normally, Knoxville would be the race that he would have had to drop.
I don't ever recall seeing the time that Lacey was not on the bottom, hugging that inside. It was impressive to watch.
Chad Griggs all over. That's company from Jake Musso, I should say, rather, as Musso takes her to the second groove for second.
I like that line that Musso's taking kind of 3/4 of the way up. There's a little bit of tack up there that he's catching about halfway through the corner. That's helping his drive off. I really like that line there.
Something to keep in mind too, quickest car on track is that black and red car in the background of Brennan Lacey. 1750 last time by. As Musso has a chance to take second on Chad Griggs. Let's Griggs have it. Does he maybe set up a crossover? No, he doesn't. They have been side by side for the last 3 to 5 laps. This is a great race, Brandon.
Oh, this is an absolute phenomenal race to watch, and it is dead even, and that's the kind of racing that I was absolutely love to see. And here comes, is that Clevenger?
That is Jack Clevenger. In the
coming in to try to make it a
position.
three-way battle.
Go back on board with the 78. It's time he decides to take it to the extreme high side. Dancing with the devil off turn 2, trying to avoid those motocross bumps. As we have 10 laps to go, coming to 9 laps next time by. It is still Zach Chapman's race, a 17.5 last time by. Back to the update on the championship. Schatzer, he's on the wall, contact from Ross. And that could be even more of a 2X. Schatzer just has to keep his cool, keep the car nice and clean. Remember, 12th or better is what he needs, and he wins the title.
That was a big hit that Schatzer just took into the outside wall. I don't know if he got away from that without a 2X or not, but holy cow.
7 laps to go, and Ross is all over. He may not be too happy at the way he was getting raced by Schatzer. Let's watch this closely here.
I don't know if Ross has anything to be mad about. I think Ross kind of lost it a little bit off the corner, came down, caught Schatzer. I don't know if Ross is mad, he's mad about the wrong reasons.
Probably right there, as we have 6 laps of race to go, coming to 5 next time by. Quickest car on track is still Brennan Lacey in 5th, and he's all over this 3-car battle for 2nd. Clevenger tries to thread the needle 3 wide.
Griggs kind of bobbled there off of 4, causing Clevenger to kind of let off and let Mosso kind of catch up, but he is right back at it. Almost contact.
He was riding all over that left rear rim. As there are 4 laps to go, Schatzer has passed Dickens for 10. Now car separates Templeton and Schatzer, that's Bixler. And there is lap traffic in front of the second place car. Griggs catches the berm. Musso takes the 2nd spot with 3 laps remaining.
That's a tough break for Griggs. Hopefully he can try to get back around Musso, but he's going to slam the door on him.
Great defense
Using Maurer
there.
as a pick. Clevenger almost runs into the back of Maurer.
And now where's Brennan Lacey in all this? Lacey's right there on the back step on the 78 with 2 laps to go. And he is trying everything to pass that 888. Has to throw the slide job at him to do it, but the white flag is out. A dominant race for the number 72 of Shaggy, Zach Chapman. He's in the Grassroots, Brightbox, Gambler Motorsports. Number 72 off in turn number 4. Zach Chapman has seen the checkered flag. Oh yeah, Zach Chapman's the winner in Knoxville. As they come to the start finish line, oh, Schatzer on the wall off for 4. Can he hang on to it? More contact by Krupa. They're going crazy further back. And Schatzer finished 12th. That should be enough to take the title, pending how much loss of points there were. Templeton finished in 8th. We believe Schatzer's the champion. We will have to double check with scoring. Patrick Spangler will be updating for us.
Oh man, that's a lot of contact. I'm gonna back out, see the race results. Kurt Schatzer ends with a 6X.
So a loss of 6 points there for Superman.
Templeton ends with a 2X.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So Templeton gained 4 points as we know of. So a 58 to a 52. So 6 points there, and so as we have it, a 12-point gain for Templeton. And what we have right now is Schatzer winning the title by 13 points. We will have to wait and see what happens. And it is official. Kurt Schatzer is a 2-time champion of the Rebels.
Very nice.
So your top 3 all pose for a photo. Let's get you the results here before we talk with everybody. So Chapman the winner, Musso second, Griggs third, Clevenger fourth, Lacey fifth, and a wild race for second that came down to the final moments of this one. And you got to give it up as well for all the drivers in the Rebels tonight. Only one caution in that feature. Renegades have their work cut out for them with the way that went down.
That we do.
Let's take a look at the rest of the results. And I believe we are ready to go here with your top 3. And we are. So let's begin with our third place finisher in Chad Griggs. Chad, first off, welcome back to Rebels. Good to see you back here once again. Walk us through those final laps, though, and what happened from your perspective to lose second.
I experimented with something tonight. I really hopped in here just to experiment with something for a different race, and did something totally different with the setup. And well, it was easy to see. We don't like it. It doesn't work.
I mean, this is a track I believe you're really good at. I believe you raced the Knoxville Nationals with us, if I recall correctly. What did you learn from that you could possibly take forward to Renegades later tonight?
I'm going to go back exactly to my setup that I always went to. So it was good practice for me. It was exactly what I wanted. I wanted to try something completely different just to see if it worked, and it didn't. So I got the knowledge that I wanted to get out of tonight. So
other than that, any other positives you took away?
no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, good slick track, top to bottom, one caution. Great race, I thought.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Team ABR, Scott Thomason Racing, Aces Up, Roger for putting the league on, you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank you. Have a great time.
All righty. Chad, appreciate the time, man. Great job in the third. Best of luck in Renegades.
Thank you, sir.
So Chad Griggs, our third place finisher. We now move over to P2 and talk with the Moose and Jake Musso. Jake, a great run for you tonight. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I really glad I got in the bottom there. So I just hung it out there on the bottom, just followed the leader, I guess. It was really hard to pass. And then the caution came out, unfortunately, and it put me back on the high line. And the 270 got around me on the bottom. So I was just trying to get around him the whole race. I felt like I had a chance to get to Zach and have a battle with him. But I was just stuck in traffic the whole time. And then decided to start testing out the top there, and that was really sketchy. So I went back to the bottom the last couple laps and got second place there.
You've shown a lot of speed these past few weeks. How you feeling about Renegades, and is there a possibility that you could get career win number 2?
I'm not sure. These guys are really good in the Renegades. Especially Blake. He's absolutely disgusting at Knoxville, so it's gonna be hard to keep up with him. I mean, I did win here a couple times in Wednesday nights when they ran Knoxville, and that was a couple months ago. So I feel like I'm a better driver from them. So I think I might have a shot to play spoiler, maybe for a win or a P3.
Gotta ask you as well, how much fun were those final few laps racing for second?
Oh, it was a blast with all the lap traffic and just trying to be meticulous and run around the track without spinning the wheels too much. It was a lot of fun. Really good racing. I hope we can do more in the.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
GCAM Racing, all the boys there. Fast Haze Hot Rods, Main Street Auto. You've heard a great broadcast. Love going back and watching it. And Coast to Coast for having a place to race.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go. Great job, and wishing you the best of luck in Renegades.
Thank you.
Alrighty, let's get to your winner. And you know what? We're going to turn the cameras back on here. Why not? Get to our winner. That, of course, is Zach Chapman. Zach, what a way to win that one, man. Congratulations. How about it?
Yeah, I mean, Jacob kind of said it there. I feel like at the beginning, I heard my spotter pop up once that, he was right behind me. He was definitely quick. Caution was probably my friend. I timed that restart real well. And, I mean, I don't know. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But, I took that lead out to like 2.5 seconds, almost 3 seconds. In those last two laps, I really took it easy. I wasn't trying to get by Jeff Flaro. He was running the bottom pretty aggressive. So I was just taking it easy with the lead I had. And, I don't know, man. I really impressed myself with this hot rod. This thing was really fast, and definitely looking forward to continuing this build on as we go.
How was lap traffic from your perspective in the final laps?
Um, Truthfully, pretty much everyone got out of the way, or at least if they didn't get out of the way, kind of held their line, weren't drifting around. And then, if you come up on anybody, like I say, I just held my line there at the end when I knew the gap was big enough, and I wasn't going to try anything fancy there. And I also maybe put a little less gas in it than I wanted to. I was having to watch that just in case we had a caution there and went a little further. So I got a little lucky with gas.
How many laps did you make it on?
I think I had 1.1, something like that. But I was really saving with those lappers that really helped me out.
What do you take away from this one as we head into Renegades?
Just you're gonna kind of want the bottom, but I did notice with like 3 or 4 laps to go. Well, Lacey, I think, took the fastest lap of the race, and I heard you guys talking about him running the top. And with like 2 to go, I was running the middle, and that was actually my fastest lap of the race. So track was just getting faster at the end, and it was starting to move up the track. So depending on how this track races tonight, we might be in for a hell of a race here with 5 to go.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Shout outs to you guys in the booth. Love sitting in here and doing this with you guys. It's a lot of fun. All my teammates at Gambler, Connor Ross for helping me tweak setups and stuff tonight a little bit. He's always a big help. Kid does a lot that goes unnoticed. Andy over there at Cool Ray Heating and Cooling. Roger, everybody else that helps out with the league. And last but not least, my wife for letting me do this all the time.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll keep you in here, obviously. Congratulations on the win.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. But now we move on to your champion. He is a 2-time Rebels champ. That, of course, is Kurt Schatzer. Kurt, congratulations. I want to begin with those final laps. How nervous were you with all the contact that you were making there? Kurt Schatzer, you got a copy? Oh, boy. I think he's speechless that he won that championship, guys.
We're going to go with that. That's what we're going to go with.
I think he is. I tell you what, let's try one more time. Kurt, you got us?
Yeah, can you hear me, Mark?
Ah, there we go. We got you
All right.
now.
Yeah, I had to play around with something here.
Gotcha. But yeah, let me repeat the question. How nervous were you in those final few laps with all the contact that was taking place around you?
Oh my God, I think I was holding my breath there pretty tight there and gritting the teeth. It was very dramatic, I could say that. Yeah, it's pretty speechless, I guess, to say.
Well, it was a 12th or better per hour calculations before the incident points that would be enough for you to win the championship, and just barely hanging on by the skin of your teeth to finish.
Yeah, I was real surprised with that. I mean, after the race, I thought I gave it away with the last lap, all the commotion that was going on, barely making it back to the line. And yeah, I thought I threw it away until I got back into Discord and I seen Templeton was like, "Congratulations on the championship." And I was like, "Are you sure on that one?" And he was, "Yep." And so I was like, "All right, well." And then I caught your message there and I jumped over here in the booth and was kind of scrambling around. But yeah, it was a dramatic, whole season. I was having computer issues with getting kicked out of a few races, so I never knew if I was going to end up getting a finish or not. But I owe it a lot to M9 setup and performance. Trevor and Ty over there, they do a phenomenal job with hooking us up with some setups. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to run up front in the sprints. These are my least least favorite cars I can wheel around the track. But all in all, I'm really speechless on this one, and feels like forever since the last Rebels Championship.
I hate to tell you this, but our replay's actually showing all the stuff that happened on the final lap, and we're not controlling that. That just popped up.
Oh my God! I mean, it was all through the race. I mean, at one point I thought I was doing good because I got right to the back of Templeton. I was like, all right, well, if I can just kind of hang right here, I'll be good. And then I made a little bit of wheel contact, and then I got in the wall. And next thing you know, I was back to who knows where. I was just trying to do everything I could to get back to him, and I was kind of thinking I was really just overdriving the car, really, and yeah, yeah.
How you gonna celebrate this one tonight?
Oh yeah, it'll be a good one. I'll go up and celebrate with the family, and then I'll watch it back here. And I'd like to thank you for doing the broadcast. If it wasn't for you, I don't know if I'd be sticking it out every week and coming back and racing. But you make it fun for us all to come back and watch it. And I got to thank all the boys on the race team: Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, and Brian Dickens, and Joe Halter, and Got Your Six Racing Network, and Friday Night Lights. If anybody's looking for an extra lead, come run on Friday nights. Pretty stiff competition over there, but come check it out. And thank Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race.
Enjoy this, man. Congratulations. You are the Rebels champion.
Thank you, Marty.
Kurt Schatzer, he has done it. He is a Rebels champion in the Coast to Coast Racing League. And with that being said, we are going to step aside and go to break. Stay with us when we come back. Going to crown a champion in the Renegades. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Welcome back here to the Knoxville Raceway as we get set to go for Renegades action. And Renegades, as always, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. Gonna turn the cameras on back here, and we welcome you back into our broadcast booth. Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. Boys, let's go back to the Renegades title situation as we have round 2 between Patrick Splangler and Blake Chapman about to commence here. Zach, pretty much your 13th or better for Spangler. He'll be a 6-time champion in Renegades.
Yeah, I think unless Blake offers to send somebody some free Galens, Patrick keeps out of trouble tonight. I think he's got himself another championship, but rightfully so. You know, he talked to us last week about the biggest thing being for this championship, the 0x, or the incident points, and just looking at him in the standings, he's got a great incident point rating, and that's going to carry him to another championship.
Absolutely, but what does Blake obviously, Brendan, without a question, has to win this championship. For this situation for Spangler to happen, though, for both situations, they have to be at least in 7th place because that's the worst finish that they can drop.
Yeah, I find it very hard for Blake to finish below 7th place. Obviously, he won the Knoxville Nationals here. He is very good here. Kid's magic here. I don't know how the heck he does it, but he's going to finish very high. Patrick just needs to make sure he's able to follow or beat the unbeatable kid.
377, followed by Preston Cranmer, Gary Taylor, Ross Corina, and Patrick Spangler. Car count currently of 22 drivers with us. I forgot to say it, by the way, tonight as well, and I apologize. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat and give me a big hello. Who's watching? Give us some conversation. I'll tell you what I'm going to put in if you guys want to do it, because I've actually never done this before. We're going to put in the live timing here. So if you guys want a better idea of how your favorite driver is running, live timing is available in the chat. You can go check that out right now. But believe the drivers are having their drivers meeting at the moment. Let's take a look at some other drivers here that could be threats. You know, Brandon, you and I were talking about it, but Brennan Lacey was up there as one of the quicker drivers in the final laps of things. He may have found something out possibly with this top, but obviously it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and we've been waiting a while to see Brendan Lacey's comeback, especially after he took a season or two off. He's been back down to Rebels, and I think this is his third race in Rebels this season so far. So he hasn't had a lot of time behind the wheel unless it's been hosted, but he's been running very well otherwise. And what, did he finish 5th? 4th or 5th in Rebels?
Just about, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, somewhere in there, and he did very good, and he showed a lot of poise, so I expect him to do a lot more great things here in Renegades as he usually does.
He just crashed on us. I think he knew that we were live, and boom, he crashed it.
Can't give away all the secrets, eh?
Yeah, I can't give all the secrets for sure. So, but we're ready to go for our first heat race of the night. And as always, Heat 1 is brought to you by our friends at Flatline Racing Bodies. Here's your starting lineup for the first heat race. And on the pole, look at this. This is just what he needed towards trying to find a comeback for the championship. The salesman, Blake Chapman, is on pole position. And next to him, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. Row number 2, it's the captain, Gary Taylor. And next to him, it's the low-line master in Brennan Lacey. Row number 2, the boss, Ross Corina, in the 10. Next to him, it's Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. And in row number 4, rounding out the field, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Bob DeGood rounds out the field. So, alrighty, gentlemen. If I can get this back onto the server here on my Discord. With my mouse has been acting up on me lately. I don't know what it is, even with fresh batteries. So, but gentlemen, wishing you guys the best of luck.
Appreciate it, sir.
Put them on mute here for right now. Winner tonight starts on pole position for our 35-lap feature as we are set to go racing here at the sprint car capital of the world. And you see Chapman immediately get away to a great jump, but Brandon Dittmer may have learned something about that high side. He decides to possibly dive in the corner. Closes him in about a car length or so. Taps the wall briefly, but diamonds once again as he goes side by side with the salesman. Down to the turn number 3. Here we go. Oh, hell of a slide job by Dittmer. Nearly went too much on it. Chapman continues to lead. Brennan Lacey went for it as well on a slider. He taps the wall not just once, but maybe twice. And he may lose the 3rd spot to Ross Coretta, who then goes for 2nd as Dittmer rides the wall. Contact out, hard hit for the Spider Monkey. Side over side, end over end. Into a myriad of barrel rolls. But right now, it is all Blake Chapman. But Ross Coretta, though, the quickest driver on the racetrack as things stand with a 16.16. Let's get Brandon on here as he's pulled it into the pits. He's called it a heat race. What happened?
Just sent too hard into the cushion, got the wall, and the rest is history.
I thought you were going to get the lead at one point there for a moment, man.
I gave her a run, tried to hit the slider, I got a little tight, and I shot towards the outside wall, killed all my momentum, so.
to go in Heat 1. It's Blake Chapman, followed by Ross Carina, Brennan Lacey, and Gary Taylor. Everyone transfers in, and we just had a car count of under 24 men. Carina continues to stay tucked behind that number 20 as there's one lap to go. On board with the boss, but he hits the wall. Sighting a deep diamond in turns 1 and 2. That was a nice exit he had, but is it going to be enough? Chapman shuts the door into turn 3 with a slider and off the corner. That's enough for it. Blake Chapman starts on pole position for tonight's 35 lap feature. Just what he needed to get the night started, Brandon.
Yeah, it's a great start, especially starting on pole here. It's huge.
We move on to heat race number 2, which is brought to you by RSN Trackside. Here's how they line up. It's John Shorty on the pole in the 51. Next to him, it's Cody Graham, who is in car number 2. Row number 2, it is the 56, driven by Randy Shreves. And next to him, it's the 36 of Barry Goldner. Row number 3, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. And next to him, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161. Rounding out the field tonight, Jake Musso in car number 61, as the field is all set to roll here for heat race number 2. All righty, Zach, what are you expecting here for this heat?
You know, a little bit. I wasn't fast enough to even follow him, but it seemed like it was. You could throw a slider, but I mean, you gotta behave. You know, keep yourself out of the wall, not to rub it in Dittmer's face there. But it's a little difficult right now. So I mean, it's kind of like follow the leader unless you want to go in there and send it. So if you're gonna go for a pass, gotta hold your breath.
Hello to the mayor, Steve Bixter, rooting for Gary Taylor tonight. As the winner starts outside row number 1 next to Blake Chapman. Who's it going to be? Going to find out. Green flag waves for heat 2. Short with the advantages. It's Graham and Shreves that are wing to wing for second, as Shreves throws the slider up on the 2. Possible opening for Jack Clevenger. Jake Musso sideways, but he keeps it straight. Lap 1 is led by the 51. Here come Clevenger and Shreves as Short's up on the wall. Zach, 3 wide for the top spot.
Yeah, it just kicked that right rear off the wall, but it looked like it maybe helped him a little bit on exit. It was scary in there for a second, but it helped him.
2 laps complete. Rick's car is the 51 as Short nearly gets the wall. He was on those motocross bumps big time, but it's a 4-car battle for the race lead, Brandon. 2 low, 2 top. Oh, no! Clevenger goes around, and he has to start from the back tonight.
That's unfortunate for Clevenger. That's he pulled me right there, had a good starting spot, and just kind of stunted in on yourself.
I just ran the quickest lap of the day at a 16:37. Meanwhile, Shorty tests out the slider line, and it works out pretty well. Who was quicker last time by? It was Short by 400ths on Randy Shreves here, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there, but he almost needs him to make a mistake because he's running the slider line in 3 and 4, really covering the bottom, and he's just not getting a big enough run on him here in 1 and 2 to do anything.
And decides to rip the top. Short goes there later. The slider line is where you want to be at the moment. Meanwhile, Cody Graham 3rd, Terry Landis 4th. Jake Musso rounds out the top 5, and he just passed Landis for the 4th spot. Actually, they're wing to wing in the corner. 2 laps to go in this heat. Shreves may have something as Graham's up on the wall.
Yeah, Shreves is right there. He's going to have to, hopefully he gets just as big of a run here, and if he's that close to the tail tank again, he's got to think about sending it in there.
Is he going to do it here in turn 1? We're about to find out. 1 flag is out, 1 to go in heat race number 2. Shreves all over the back of Short. If he wants it, he's going to have to come and get it. Short shuts the door to turn number 3, throws the slider. Is that going to be enough? Here they come off at 4. John Short wins heat race number 2. Cody Graham 3rd, Jake Musso 4th, Barry Goldner 5th, Terry Landis, Jack Clevenger round out the field. Alrighty, final heat race set to go. It's brought to you by Top Notch Trucking, the official logistics provider of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Preston Cranmer, the Outlaw, is on the pole. Next to him, it's the 42 of the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson. Row number 2, it's the Goose, Chad Cote, and the 11 next to the Money King, Kyle Moonen, in the 24. Row number 3, Kevin Fry in the 21. Next to him, it's Patrick Spangler, the high side banger in the 39, starting 6th. Rounding out the field, the Bandy Boat Master, Jesse Bandy in 7th in car 49. Well, one driver got pill draw number 1. The other driver got pill draw number, I want to say it's pill draw number 19. Maybe pill draw number 20. Here's a fun fact, by the way. We are 10 races into the season. Spangler and Chapman have combined for 7 wins of the 10 we have had in this race. The 3 drivers that have defeated both Spangler and Chapman this year are Jesse Bandy, Jake Musso, and Lance Ripka. Let's see what Blake Chapman's KSR teammate in Preston Cranmer has. This is the one I'm going to be watching closely in this heat race. Winner starts inside of row number 2. Cranmer and Wilson bring us to green for heat race number 3. Off the corner, still side by side. See if anybody decides to send it. Moonen! Contact, but saves it off of Wilson. Zach, he had a huge head of steam going into turn 3.
Yeah, he did, but you know that's kind of Wilson didn't see him there in his blind spot, so I mean that can happen every now and then. Even just trying to cut down the corner, but that's a good job of Kyle keeping the car together and racing for the next lap.
Top 3 single file. Cranmer may lose 4th here to Chad Cote. However, though, Moonen's all over Wilson for the race lead, Brandon. He looks low.
Yeah, Moonen and Patrick both really got their car stepped out on going into 1, so they had to both dive low. Here's a big slide job from Moonen.
Slide job from Moonen. Does it pay off? No. Wilson hangs on. Wilson answers back with a slide job of his own. It's slide job, City of Knoxville. You got to be careful, though, because look who's behind them. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, in the 3rd position as the top 2 continue to trade slide jobs. Wilson still leads the line with 3 to go here, Zach. Oh,
yeah, a little close. Oh, in the wall.
Spangler, I think, biked it in turn 2, but he hangs on to it. Another slider for Moonen. Spangler throws a slider of his own to stay in the fight.
He's going to have him at the line this time.
Moonen, the new leader, at the line as Moonen's up on the wall, but he still hangs on to the lead somehow. How'd he do that, Brandon?
Yeah, that's impressive to say the least. So you get into the wall that hard, and you still somehow maintain the lead and speed. That's cold.
That's impressive. Final lap underway. That last lap too for Moonen. Quickest lap of the race, a 16:27. Nearly Hail Melon at that lap in turn number 2, and off the corner, Moonen starts inside row 2 with a photo for 2nd. Spangler edges out Wilson by 500ths. Quickest lap of the heat. Spangler starts from 6th tonight.
That's a good teammate right there.
Yeah, and I was wondering that myself, or if he just got that good of a run on the bottom in 3 and 4.
It's one way or the other, as Blondie once said. Gonna step aside here and go to break. When we come back, it's feature time. Find out who the Renegades champion is. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olson? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Spangler quickest in warm-ups as they are complete. We are ready to go racing. 35 laps around the sprint car capital of the world. Let's meet the starting lineup. As always, brought to you by Catalytic Recovery. On the pole, it's the salesman Blake Chapman in the 20. Next to him, it's John Short in the 51. Row number 2, the Money King, Kyle Moonen in the 24. And the boss, Ross Carino, in the 10. Row 3, it's Randy Shreves in the 56. Next to the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 4, it's Brendan Lacey, the low line master in the 114. Next to him, it's Cody Graham in car number 2. Rounding out the top 10 here this evening, we have Tyler Wilson in the number 42, and the captain, Gary Taylor, in the 34. Row 6, the Moose, Jake Musso in the 61. Next, the Vanderbilt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Row number 7, Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72, and Barry Goldner in the 36. Row 8, the Outlaw, Preston Kramer in the 07, and the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Here's how the rest of the field looks in row number 10. Pardon me, there in row number 10, you have Bob the Good in the 7, Jack Clevenger in 78, the row beforehand, Terry Landis, who's in the 161. Next to Chad Cote in the 11. Rounding out the grid, it's Kevin Fry, the Flying Fry in the 21, and the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. One lap until we take the green flag. Let's get predictions. We'll start with you, Zach Chapman.
I'm gonna go Patrick for the sweep tonight.
Alrighty, Brandon.
Oh boy. Give me Moonen to win the race and Spangler to win the cup.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go all out. Blake Chapman wins the race and the championship. You heard it here.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna go for it. Best of luck, boys.
I guess.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Folks, it's time for it once again. The Lucy Olson start. Field makes their way off at turn number 4. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Championship night at the Knoxville Raceway. Showtime at the sprint car capital of the world. Oh, Moonen up in the wall hard in turn number 3. And he goes all the way down from the lead back to 12th, and he's got steering damage. That car just will not turn. He just hit it twice pretty good. And this is where he's going to wait until the last car goes by, and he's going to bring on to pit road. What a tough break for Moonen. Started 3rd, and now he's back in last. Look at the race, 3 wide for the 4th position. Spangler in 4th, Coretta in 3rd, shuts the door in the 39, and Lacey's on the attack in the 39. Remember these two, back in the winter in the springtime a couple seasons ago. Blake Chapman has opened up the lead 1.6 seconds. 16.9 last lap for the salesman. As Spangler looks to break to the podium, which he does. Brendan Lacey hits the berm as he looks to take away the 4th spot, Ross Carino. As Wilson and Musso both leaning on another. That is for P7 on the racetrack, and Musso moves Wilson up the track right in front of Zach Chapman. Now we look behind them. Carino and Lacey are in front of them, I should say. Lacey moves up into the 4th position, past the boss, with Shreves hanging back in 6th. It's still Blake Chapman out in front, 1.4 seconds the advantage on John Short in 2nd. Patrick Spangler in 3rd would have the championship won if this race were to end, but he touches the berm. It's okay, that's just time. Don't worry too much about positions. In fact, that last lap was actually, his best lap of the day, a 16.81 for the high side banger. back to the Lacey Corinna battle with Shreves on both of their tails. Let's right on board with the 56 as he's on the cushion. Oh, can we see some 3 wide possibly off the corner? Well, look in front of them though. Spangler all over John Short for the second spot. Spangler dances with the devil off of 2. The 51 shuts the door. It's Bright Sim Racing 1-2, followed by Training Wheels. Oh, Spangler caught the wall at 4. Now, is that 2X? I don't know. If so, that's a loss of points there, and that will definitely help out with Blake Chapman and his points lead. That'd be a loss of 7 points there for Spangler if he hit that wall, and if it was enough to force iRacing to give him 2X. And now Ross Corinna starts to attack him for the bottom step of the podium. It's both them and Randy Shreves were up on the cushion 1 and 2. Shreves sends it in and nearly hit the 39 in turn 4. He's got to remember, Spangler looking for his 6th Renegades Championship, continuing his elite status in the Coast to Coast Racing League. But now Spangler and Short run different lines. Spangler up top, Short down on the basement for the second spot. They're side by side. Short edges out Spangler at the line. And a beautiful exit from the 51, but does Short send it in? He tries to. Spangler also sends it in with a slider of his own, and he moves up to second. And now he tries to start to attack Blake Chapman for the runner-up spot. It's where 14 laps complete to this one. It's Ross Corinna and John Short racing for the bottom step of the podium. And Short nearly squeezed Shreves up on the wall. We could go 3 wide in turn 1. Shreves thought about threading the needle, decided not to. Look at this, Corinna may be starting to fight back on Spangler. And both of them have trimmed the fat down on Blake Chapman. What was once a 1.2 second lead has turned down to a 0.6 of a second lead. Could Chapman be saving tires? 3 wide for second. And Shreves nearly caught Ross Corinna in this. Spangler hanging on to second for right now, and he's all over Blake Chapman, 0.4 of a second. The advantage between the 20 and the 39. We can show you folks at home. Here's a look at the time delta and how much that lead is closed in the last 5 laps. Top 3 drivers all up on the top shelf. First guy down low with Shreves in 4th, and Brennan Lacey starts to chow down on the top 4. Spangler again hanging on up on the cushion. 15 laps remain in the Renegades finale. The top 3 all under a blanket, separated by a half second. Chapman decides to run a different line. He goes for the slider line. Did that pay off last time by? Check the lap times here. Chapman better by a 10th last lap. And there's company from Ross Corinna. Here goes Corinna downstairs. Thinks about the slider, decides not to go for it. And that's your best race on track for P2. And just look at how bumpy that second corner is. If you get too high, may put you out of the race. As Spangler went for it on the slider line, cut the gap down pretty well that time. Does he go for it again in turns 1 and 2? He does. And Chapman's hanging on the motocross bumps. Spangler decides to keep it nice and easy downstairs. Spangler matched that 10th last lap, but he catches the wall once more, and it's sideways. Corinna looks low for second. He goes for it. He takes it away. But Spangler tries to counter it back with a crossover. And he goes back into P2 as we come to 10 laps to go at the Knoxville Raceway. And the cream is starting to rise to the top a little bit early, folks. Spangler looking to match Blake Chapman and wins with 4. Blake looking for 5. However, though, the 5 wins, though, wouldn't be enough, unfortunately. One of the factors that you look back at is possibly Kern County a couple weeks ago. When he was involved in that accident, had to recover, finished 7th, had a possible top 5 run going. 8 laps to go, and there's lap traffic ahead. Spangler underneath Chapman for the race lead off for 2. Chapman opened up the door for the 39. 7 laps to go. Does Spangler send it in with a slide job? Hangs onto it on the baby bottom. And Chapman keeps the lead off at 2. Does he shut the door on the 39? Keeps him going, and look who's also a factor in this. The 14 of Brennan Lacey starts to race in this for 3rd on the 10. Worked out for him off the corner for Ross Carino. May have even closed in on Patrick Spangler. 5 laps remaining in the Renegade season, and 4 cars are separated by 0.7 of a second. Spangler underneath Chapman for the lead. Spangler 4 laps away from his 6th Renegades title, and would sweep the calendar year. That would be like a grand slam in tennis. A calendar slam, kind of. 3 laps to go. Spangler kept it as low as he could. And here comes Carino for P2. That last time by, Chapman better by 0.03 of a second. You may want to hold on to your seats for this one, folks. There's 2 laps remaining, and Blake Chapman's trying to turn on the afterburners. He was slower by 0.04 last lap. There is still lap traffic ahead. Spangler sends it into turn number 3, and he hits the berm. Carino may take 2nd, which he does. White flag is out, 1 to go. And this could be Blake Chapman's 5th win. Oh, a big wreck! And Blake Chapman dodges it. Spangler's involved. He loses the right front. Can he make it home in time? Off for 4. Blake Chapman's going to win this one. Where in the world is Patrick Spangler going to finish? Goes across the line in 7th. And that should be enough for him to win the title. What the hell did we just witness in the season finale? Spangler's going to win this championship from the looks of it on 3 wheels. Well, Brandon, what did I say at the end of the Rebels race with only 1 caution?
We definitely put on a show, I'll tell you what.
Give it up for the Renegades, ladies and gentlemen, as they went flag to flag tonight. So Chapman with the win, the only car amongst the front 4 to dodge that bullet. Randy Shreves finishes 2nd, I believe his best finish ever in Renegade Comp, and I don't believe he has any fuel. He's going to need a push to come back. I hope he realizes that. And Jake Musso rounds out the podium to finish in 3rd. Somebody give Shreves a damn push. Oh my goodness. And there is Spangler. Who pretty much has the championship. Let's go back. We need to watch that final lap. That was one of the wildest laps we may have ever seen in Knoxville, where, I mean, yes, the leader did not. Okay, the second wildest lap. The first wildest lap was when Spangler beat John Helms, the Knoxville Nationals. Okay. I'm going to go back and watch from TV1. Show you the white flag lap. So Spangler hit the berm in turn 4. And, oh, Kevin Fry and Barry Goldner caught together. Let's watch that in slow motion. I'm going to watch here. So they're flipping. Fry's flipping, gets Corinna. Chapman threads the needle. And then Musso has contact with Randy Shreves meanwhile. In the rest of this. And Blake's trying to hang on to this thing without a wheel. Or I'm sorry, Patrick rather. So Corinna had already caught someone. Lacey's, I want to say Lacey slowed up to make sure that he didn't get a piece of that. There goes Shreves by. Patrick looks like he's Lightning McQueen out there with the blown tire. Says, championship, here I come. Oh no, McQueen has lost the right front. So we'll rewind this one more time. And think of this too. Imagine this. If Patrick didn't hit that berm, he could have been involved in this accident. He could have been right where Ross Corinna was. And Corinna, checking his finishing result, finished back in 17th. So think of that. That berm hit was probably the difference between winning and losing a championship here tonight in Renegades. Wow. That's wild, folks. We'll give you the results right now, show you your top 10 only. And there you see it, Spangler coming across the line 7th, good enough for him to win the title. Blake Chapman, though, takes his 5th win of the season. Most wins of anybody in the Renegades. And we will talk to your champion in just a bit. In Patrick Spangler. All right, we're ready. Let's go to the top 3, and we'll bring in Jake Musso. Jake, first off, what in the world happened on that final lap from your perspective?
I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I was more focused on trying to get Randy there. Found speed in the last 2 laps. I found speed on the outside of him, so I was trying to pinch him down. And all of a sudden, I just see a bright green yellow car flying up in the air. I'm like, oh crap. So I was like, I tried to go low, and then Randy was there, so I'm like, man. But then they were damaged, and I was like, hey, maybe I can squeak 3rd. And I tried to sneak by Patrick there, and he had no front tire, so he couldn't turn, so we made contact out of 4. But I was able to squeak by and get 3rd. So that was one crazy last lap. I don't know if people ran out of fuel or the lappers got together. I'm not sure, but I have to go back and watch.
And we're just watching you avoid that wreck. Man, you really were locked on the brakes and then had to jam the throttle there to make sure you still had a good chance at the podium spot, which you were able to finish on. How about the ending of this season for you? You pick up your first Renegade win 2 weeks ago at Kern County. I have a good feeling we're going to see you run Renegades full-time next year.
I'm hoping, but I'm in the C class, so I don't think I can go straight to A, unfortunately.
Oof.
So I'll be stuck in the B class. So hopefully me and Zach could battle out for the championship there.
No, I was just looking at that, Jake. I think because we're high enough in the points, I think they carry over the top 5 or 10. So we should move straight to the A, I think.
Oh, would you look at that? That's pretty cool. So we'll see. If not, I'll be okay with running B, but it should be a lot of fun battling the guys that are faster than me. So just glad I got to the podium here then.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the boys at GKM Racing. Cody was in there. He was racing hard. It was a good race for both of us there. And you for a great broadcast. Coast to Coast for great league. I love running here. So hopefully we can get back here on Monday nights next season.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Great 3rd place finish. Looking forward to seeing you next season.
Thank you.
Jake Musso, our 3rd place finisher. To 2nd we go. We're going to talk with Randy Shreves, who I believe just had his best ever Renegades finish. Randy, what'd you see from your perspective on that final lap?
I just seen a big pile of cars. I didn't know what happened. I thought that maybe everybody had ran out of fuel because I know I ran out coming to the line. But I heard from Patrick that it was a couple of lap cars got into it and took out all the front runners. So that's how I managed to squeak my way into 2nd.
What do you take away from this season as a whole?
definitely know that I need to be here a lot more. I kind of missed a lot of races this season due to work, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll change here in the winter series. So definitely a lot of tough people in this series, and they definitely keep you on your toes. And you definitely got to bring your A game every time, and just try not to mess up with these guys.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Definitely want to thank my team, LGR Motorsports, ABR Setup Shop, Coulter West at Redline Design Company, One Wish Foundation, Wraps and Stitches, KSB Builders, Finish Line Repair, you up there in the broadcast booth, you and Brandon and Zach and everybody, everybody with Coast to Coast, and everybody for watching.
Congratulations on the second place finish, man.
Thank you, Marty.
Randy Shreves finishes second. Now we go to your winner, and Blake Chapman getting it done in victory lane. First off, what in the world did you see from your perspective?
I think I'm gonna have to change my underwear out after this one, Marty. That was something else. I mean, last lap we go caution free all race. It's a super clean race, and then that happens right in front of me. I'm just lucky that I got through it, and yeah, some guys behind me weren't so fortunate.
You were virtually the only car amongst the front four to clear it. I thought you were done. I literally thought when I saw that happen, I'm thinking, boom, he's out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Because here in iRacing, when these cars get into the wall and they get into each other, you never know which way they're going to be flying. If guys are going to be flipping through the air, they're going to keep it on the track, and how much momentum they're going to carry off that wall. So it was definitely really scary.
My pick came close, though. I said before we go green, you would win the race and you would win the championship. So close. You missed it by 5 points. But I mean, another great season from you. What do you take away from this as you get ready to go for 2024 season 1?
Yeah, I just gotta try and be a little bit more consistent. I feel like I was either winning the race or I was, getting taken out of the race. So just trying to find that happy medium for next season, definitely. And yeah, that championship wasn't too much on my mind, and I figured Patrick pretty much had it wrapped up. He's really fast here, but really wanted to win this race. I know Sweet Pea was a trophy girl tonight, so I really wanted to see her down in victory lane, and glad I could get it done.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
I got to thank the family for watching and supporting. Got to thank all the guys out at the Krite Sim Racing team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. For the final time this Renegade season, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some great popcorn. I'm sure they'll have some holiday flavors coming out soon. So stay tuned to that. Check into their Facebook and go online and use code CART at checkout for 15% off your delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you guys for putting this broadcast on all season.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you in 2024 season 1.
Thanks, Marty.
Blake Chapman, your winner is 5th win of the season. But the man of the hour, who last time I checked, his wheel is probably somewhere in Illinois. I don't know, but he is a 6-time champion in the Renegades. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Spangler, congratulations on it. You were holding your breath there at that final lap, man, limping it to the end.
Yeah, I knew I had a pretty decent lead coming in, and then me and him were on first and second the entire race. I was really trying to pass him there, just get the win. I knew I had a little bit of leeway, so I could be a little bit more aggressive. I didn't realize they were going to start flipping out of turn 2. Otherwise, I would have ran a little bit more conservative, because I knew I broke something in the front end because it wasn't turning very well. So the whole backstretch, turn 3, turn 4, I'm hitting the gas, hitting the brakes to try and get to turn. Meanwhile, it looks like I'm Ricky Bobby out there with all the cars flying by me. And yeah, if I would have lost another spot or two, Blake would have been champion this time. So got lucky there.
Would you say that hitting the berm in turn number 4 with 2 laps to go helped you win that championship? Because I feel like you were probably where Ross Corina was, and boom.
Yeah, because I was trying the bottom. I could get next to Blake, but I would have probably tried to set him up for a turn 4 slider. So I would have probably been trying to get as close as I could out of turn 2 and then throw a 3 and 4 slider. So yeah, I would have probably been there, and he didn't even finish the race. So got super lucky. I thought I was going to get through there clean, and I hit somebody, and then just it was mayhem after that. So Yeah, that was definitely a scary one. You were saying how we could outdo the Rebels one caution. Went cautionless to the last lap. It got pretty exciting.
Take that, Rebels. No offense to you, Zach Chapman.
No offense taken.
No, that was a good race, though. You were flying out there just on cruise.
Well, you know as well as I do, it helps to start off front, Patrick.
Yeah, and I would like to see the average heat starts for Blake this season. The Galen's Popcorn sponsorship is unreal right now.
Probably 1.7.
Yeah, would be nice.
But Patrick, I mean, a 6-time champ, you sweep the Renegades in the calendar. What do you take away from this year? That again continues to make you dominant and lead Blake Chapman head-to-head 2-0.
And I mean, if you look at the stats, though, I mean, Blake's been he's been up on me. I think every year on wins. It all comes down to incidents, and I think coming into this race, it was 10 races. I had 3 incidents for the 6X there, so it's just a matter of with these leagues, you race with the same guys over and over again, so you know who you can race side by side super close with, and who you have to give a little bit of room. So it's all about learning and just racing defensively. Because one spot is 3 points, but if you take that one incident point, then you're losing 7. So it's all about just managing those and just trying to keep it clean.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just you, Zach, and Brandon for the awesome broadcasts each and every week. Just the best 3 on the business here. Raj run the league, one of the best run leagues on iRacing. Dad and Uncle back home watching Tringles Racing with Tyler and Brandon. And wife for letting me race each night, and hopefully can carry this into next season.
Gary says checkers or wreckers. I mean, yes, it was kind of wrecked, but you took her to the checkered flag with a championship. Enjoy it. Congratulations, Patrick.
Thanks. I just hope it passed tech on 3 wheels. I don't know how you get the weight on that, but hopefully the show will be good.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know if it does it hit 1425. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, all righty. Great job.
Thanks. See you next season.
You as well. Patrick Spangler, a 6-time Renegade champion in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Well, folks, that is going to do it for this year. And let's wrap it up with you guys. We'll put the cameras back on here. Final thoughts on a great season and a wild final lap. Brandon, we'll start with you.
Just great racing all around. It's the Renegades for a reason, best of the best, and these guys proved it here tonight. 0 cautions, can't ask for anything more in a championship race, and points battle coming down to, what'd you say, 5 points?
5 points.
That's about as good as you can ask for.
Absolutely. Final thoughts for you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the night it was going to come down to 5 points, I wouldn't have believed you. It was a great race, very exciting. Couldn't believe that we went caution-free with, because I could hear you guys or hear you talking, Marty. It wasn't just train racing. I mean, the guys up front were 3 wide, 4 wide at some points. It was very exciting, and everybody did a good job of giving everybody room.
With that, we bid adieu. Hope you all have a great week 13. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks for 2024 Season 1. Yes, it may be December. 2024 begins early in the world of iRacing. So that is going to do it for us here. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Cranmer, his talented group of admins. On behalf of my broadcast partners tonight, Brandon Dittmer and Zach Chapman, I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. Congratulations to your winners, Zach and Blake Chapman, and congratulations to your champions this evening, Kurt Schatzer and Patrick Spangler. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next season. See you in 2 weeks.